Captain Do-hyun Kim stood on the bridge of his ship and watched death approaching. The alien fleet filled his view screen like angry stars. 50 enemy ships moved toward the human colony on Kepler 442b. Do-hyun had only 5 ships to protect. 8,000 colonists. "Sir, they're sending another message," said his communications officer, Bo-ra Lee. Her voice was steady, but her hands shook as she worked the controls. "Put it through," Do-hyun said. The face that appeared on screen was not human. The Vraxian commander had blue skin that looked like crystal. His eyes were black holes in his face. When he spoke, his voice sounded like breaking glass. "Human captain," the alien said. "I am Commander Zephyros Prime of the Vraxian Empire. You have 1 hour to remove your people from our territory. If you refuse, we will destroy everything." Do-hyun kept his face calm. "This is human space. We claimed this system 3 years ago. We filed all the proper forms with the Galactic Council." Zephyros Prime made a sound that might have been laughter. "The Galactic Council serves us now. Humans are new here. You know nothing of real power. Leave now or die." The screen went black. Do-hyun looked around his bridge. His crew watched him with worried faces. They all knew the truth. 5 human ships could not fight 50 alien ones and win. "Sir," said his weapons officer Jinwoo Lee. "We could try to hold them off while the colonists escape." Do-hyun shook his head. "There's nowhere for them to run. The nearest human world is 40 light-years away. These people left Earth to build something new. They won't abandon it without a fight." On the planet below, the colonists were making their choice. Woojin Park stood in the main settlement hall and looked at the faces around him. These people had traveled across the galaxy to find a new home. They had built farms and schools and hospitals. They had made this dead rock into a living world. "The aliens want us to leave," Woojin said. "Captain Kim says he can try to protect us, but his ships are badly outnumbered." An old woman named Subin Han stood up. She was the colony's main doctor. "I came here to die on human soil," she said. "Not alien soil. This is our home now." Others nodded and spoke their agreement. A farmer named So Young Park had been a soldier once. "If we run now, they'll think all humans are weak. They'll take everything we've built in other systems too." The colony's main laboratory, 2 scientists worked frantically. Min Ho-yoon and Hyejin Kang were trying to boost their emergency beacon. They needed to send a message to Earth that could travel faster than any ship. "The quantum transmitter is working," Min-ho said. "But Earth is so far away, even if they get our message, help won't arrive for weeks." Hyejin checked her readings. "Wait, I'm getting strange signals from deep space. Something big is moving. Out there. Moving very fast." Above the planet, the first battle began. The Vraxian ships fired bright blue beams that tore through space. Do-hyun's ships fired back with missiles and laser cannons. The human weapons were good, but not good enough. "Shields at 60%, reported his engineer Bo-ra Lee. "Return fire," Do-hyun ordered. "Target their lead ship." The human missiles struck the Vraxian vessel but barely scratched its crystal armor. The aliens fired again. This time, one of Do-hyun's ships exploded in a ball of fire. "The soul is gone," Jinwoo said quietly. 200 crew. Do-hyun gripped his command chair. They were losing badly. In a few hours, all his ships would be destroyed. Then the aliens would burn the colony from orbit. But he had one last card to play. Something the aliens didn't know about. Something that might save them all or get them all killed trying. "Bo-ra," he said. "Open a quantum channel to Earth. Emergency. Frequency. Highest priority." "Sir, that will tell them exactly where we are." "They already know where we are. Send the message." Bo-ra's fingers flew over her controls. The quantum transmitter charged up and sent its signal across the galaxy faster than light could travel. The message was simple. Just one word. Thundersoul. On Earth, deep in the headquarters of Human Defense Command, alarms began ringing. Admiral Ga-ram Choi was pulled from his sleep and rushed to the command center. The night shift officers looked terrified. "Sir, we got a Thundersoul activation request," said the duty officer. "From the Kepler colony. They're under attack. Garam stared at the message. Thundersoul was humanity's most secret project. Most people didn't even know it existed. It was supposed to be used only if humanity faced total extinction. "How many enemy ships?" he asked. 50, sir. Vraxian Empire. They've given the colonists 1 hour to evacuate. Garam closed his eyes. 8,000 humans were about to die unless he made a choice that could change everything. The Thundersoul project was untested. It might not work at all, or it might work too well. "Wake Captain Taeyang," he said. "Tell him to prep the Thundersoul for immediate launch." Back at Kepler 442b, the battle continued. Do-hyun had lost 2 more ships. Only 3 remained, and they were badly damaged. The alien fleet moved closer to the planet. Commander Zephyros Prime appeared on screen again. "Your time is up, human. Surrender now, and we will make your deaths quick." "Go to hell," Do-hyun said. Zephyros Prime's crystal face showed something like amusement. "Your species always chooses death over wisdom. Very well. Begin orbital bombardment." The Vraxian ships turned their weapons toward the planet. In the colony below, people held each other and waited for the end. But then something impossible happened. Space itself began to tear open between the alien fleet and the planet. Reality twisted and bent like broken glass. A hole appeared in the universe. And from that hole came something that should not exist. The aliens stopped firing and stared at the thing that emerged from the tear in space. It was a ship, but no ship had ever looked like this one. It was 2 kilometers long and covered in angles that hurt to look at directly. It moved without engines. It existed without following the rules that governed everything else in the universe. "What is that?" Zephyros Prime whispered. Do-hyun smiled for the first time in hours. "That," he said, "is what happens when you cross humanity." The human colony had been under attack for 3 days. Captain Do-hyun Kim sat in his damaged command chair and counted his losses. Of his 5 ships, only 2 were still fighting. The Vraxian fleet surrounded the planet like vultures waiting for death. Commander Zephyros Prime had grown tired of the game. His crystal face filled the view screen one last time. "Human captain, you have fought bravely but foolishly. Your ships are broken. Your people are trapped. I give you one final chance. Surrender now or watch your colony burn." Do-hyun looked at his crew. Bora Lee had a bandage around her head from when the bridge had taken damage. Jin-Woo Lee's weapons console sparked and smoked. They were all exhausted, but none of them looked ready to give up. "Our answer is the same as before," Do-hyun said. Zephyros Prime's black eyes showed no emotion. "Then you will all die. Begin orbital bombardment. Burn everything." The screen went dark. 50 Vraxian ships turned their weapons toward the helpless planet below. In the underground bunkers beneath the colony, 8,000 humans waited for the end. The children cried. The adults tried to comfort them while hiding their own fear. Dr. Subin Han moved between the wounded, doing what she could with limited supplies. "Stay calm," she told everyone. "Captain Kim is still fighting up there. Don't give up hope." But hope seemed impossible. The bunkers shook as alien weapons struck the surface. Rocks fell from the ceiling. The lights flickered. In the science lab, Min Ho-yoon and Hye-jin Kang worked frantically at their computers. They had detected something 3 days ago, something big moving toward their system at impossible speed. But now the readings made no sense. "This can't be right," Hye-jin said, staring at her screen. "The quantum signatures are off the charts. Whatever's coming, it's not using normal space travel." Min-ho wiped sweat from his face. "The energy readings are increasing. Whatever it is, it'll be here soon." Above ground, the former soldier, So Young, Park led a group of volunteers with laser rifles. They couldn't fight spaceships, but they could protect the bunker entrances if any aliens landed. She had served on 3 worlds before retiring to farm. Now she wished she had brought more weapons to this peaceful colony. "Contact from the Surface Patrol," called out Woojin Park over the emergency radio. Something's happening in orbit. The alien ships have stopped firing. In space, the impossible ship hung between the Vraxian fleet and the planet. It was called Thunder Soul, though few humans knew that name. It looked like someone had built a vessel from pure mathematics and madness. 2 kilometers of twisted metal and energy that bent light around its edges. Captain Tae-Young John stood on its bridge and felt the ship's consciousness touch his mind. This was not like commanding a normal vessel. Thunder Soul was alive in ways that science could not explain. It thought with human thoughts. It felt with human emotions. "Systems report," he called to his crew. "All quantum matrices are stable," said his chief engineer Narration. "The reality anchor is holding. We're still existing in the same universe as the rest of them." Navigator Dongmin Choi gripped his controls. The ship responded to his feelings as much as his training. When he was angry, it moved faster. When he was determined, it became stronger. "The Vraxian fleet is surrounding us, sir. 50 ships. They look confused." Communications officer Sung Ho Lee listened to alien radio chatter. "They're asking each other what we are. They've never seen anything like us." Tactical officer Ye-Jin Park studied the enemy formations. "They're scared, sir. Their weapons are charged, but they're not firing. I don't think they know how to fight us." Tae-Young understood their confusion. Thunder Soul should not exist. It was built from human stubbornness and the refusal to accept that some things were impossible. Earth scientists had discovered that human consciousness could change reality itself. Not much, and not for long, but enough to build this ship. "Open a channel to the Vraxian commander," Tae-Yang ordered. Zephyrus Prime's face appeared on screen. For the first time, the crystal alien looked uncertain. "What are you?" he asked. "We are human," Tae-Yang said simply. "That ship, it should not be able to exist. Our sensors cannot understand it. It follows no physical laws we know." Tae-Yang smiled. "We make our own laws." The Vraxian commander's confidence returned. "You are still only one ship. We are 50. Prepare to die, human." "You first," Tae-Yang replied. Zephyrus Prime cut the communication and gave orders to his fleet. All 50 Vraxian ships opened fire at once. Bright blue energy beams struck Thunder Soul from every direction, enough firepower to crack a moon focused on the human vessel. The beams simply bent around the ship and flew off into empty space. On Thunder Soul's bridge, the crew felt the attack like raindrops on their skin. Nari Kim checked her readings. "No damage, sir. The quantum field absorbed everything." "How is that possible?" whispered a young officer named Ji-Hoon Park. Dr. Yoon-mi Yoon, the ship's specialist in alien psychology, answered from her station. "We're not following their rules anymore. We're following ours." The Vraxian fleet fired again and again. Their most powerful weapons had no effect. Some shots simply disappeared. Others turned back on the ships that fired them. Reality itself seemed to protect the human vessel. In the colony bunkers, people felt the shaking stop. "The bombardment has ended," So Young Park reported over the radio. "Something's happening up there." Hee-Jin Kang stared at her quantum sensors. "The energy readings are incredible. It's like space itself is being rewritten." Captain Do-hyun watched from his damaged ship as the impossible vessel began to move. It didn't fly like normal spacecraft. It simply decided to be somewhere else, and reality agreed. "Sir," Bo-Ra Lee called out, "the alien fleet is breaking formation. I think they're trying to retreat." But retreat was no longer an option. Thunder Soul had come here for a purpose. Captain Tae-Yang felt the ship's emotions merge with his own. The vessel was angry. It had felt every human death in the colony raids. It had tasted the fear of 8,000 innocents hiding underground. "All crew," Tae-Yang announced over the ship's intercom, "prepare for reality adjustment." On the planet below, Min Ho-yoon's instruments went wild. "The quantum field is shifting," he told Hye-jin. "Whatever that ship is doing, it's changing the laws of physics in this entire system." The lesson was about to begin. Thunder Soul moved through space like a living nightmare. Captain Tae-Young John felt his mind merge deeper with the ship's impossible consciousness. Every thought became reality. Every emotion became power. The vessel had not been built in any normal sense. Earth's scientists had discovered something in the deepest parts of quantum space, a layer of existence where thoughts could become matter, where human willpower could change the basic rules of the universe. "Sir," called Navigator Dongmin Choi, "the ship is responding to our emotional state. I can feel it getting stronger as we get more determined." "That's how it works, mate," said Chief Engineer Nari Kim from her station. She monitored systems that should not exist. Consciousness matter converters, reality adjustment matrices, quantum soul interfaces. The ship feeds on our human refusal to accept defeat. On the main screen, the Vraxian fleet tried desperately to destroy them. 50 crystal ships fired every weapon they had, energy beams that could melt asteroids, missiles that could crack planets. Nothing touched Thunder Soul. Communications Officer Sung-Ho Lee listened to the alien radio chatter. "They're panicking, sir. They keep asking each other how we're doing this." Tactical Officer Ye-Jin Park studied her readings. "Their weapons aren't just missing us. They're being absorbed by our quantum field and converted to ship power. The more they shoot at us, the stronger we get." Commander Zephyros Prime's face appeared on screen again. His crystal features showed pure terror. "What kind of creatures are you? Your ship breaks every law of physics." "We're human," Tae Yang said calmly. "We don't believe in impossible. That means nothing. The universe has rules. Not anymore." Tae Yang closed his eyes and felt Thundersoul's consciousness expand. The ship began to change reality around it. Space itself bent to accommodate human determination. In the colony below, scientist Min Ho Yoon watched his instruments with amazement. "The quantum field is expanding," he told Hyejin Kang. "That ship isn't just ignoring physics. It's rewriting physics." The first Vraxian ship began to crack. Not from weapons fire, but from the simple impossibility of existing in the same space as Thundersoul. The alien vessel's crystal hull developed stress fractures as reality itself rejected its presence. "Hull breach on Vraxian Ship 7, reported Yejin Park. "They're not even damaged by weapons, they're just breaking down." Dr. Yoon Mi-yoon, the ship's expert on alien psychology, monitored the enemy fleet's behavior. "They're trying to retreat, but something's wrong with their engines. The quantum field disruption is affecting their technology." More Vraxian ships began to malfunction. Their energy weapons flickered and died. Their engines sputtered. Their crystalline hulls developed, cracks that spread like spiderwebs. "This isn't right," whispered a young crew member named Min Jun Lee. "We're not even fighting them, they're just falling apart." Tae Yang opened his eyes. He understood what was happening. Thunder Soul isn't a weapon. It's an expression of human nature. We refuse to lose, so the universe is making sure we don't. "But sir," said Nari Kim, "the cost is enormous. I can feel the ship draining us. Every reality change requires human consciousness as fuel." She was right. The crew looked exhausted. Their eyes were bloodshot. Their hands shook. Operating Thunder Soul was like trying to think an entire universe into a new shape. On his bridge, Captain Do-hyun Kim watched the battle through his damaged sensors. "I count 15 Vraxian ships down. They're not destroyed, they just stopped working." His communications officer, Bo-Ra Lee, monitored alien frequencies. "The survivors are trying to signal for help, but their messages aren't getting through. It's like Thundersoul is blocking their communications." In the colony bunkers, former soldier So Young Park led her volunteers to the surface. The alien bombardment had stopped completely. Through her scope, she watched impossible lights dancing in the sky above. "Command, this is Surface Patrol," she radioed to Woojin Park. "The space battle looks like... I don't know what it looks like. The stars are bending around something up there." Dr. Subin Han treated the wounded while listening to the reports. "Is it safe to bring people to the surface?" she asked. "I think so," So Young replied. "Whatever's happening, it's not hurting us. Just the aliens." Above them, Commander Zephyros Prime made one last desperate attempt. His flagship charged directly at Thundersoul, intending to ram the human vessel. All his weapons fired at once in a final, futile gesture. The Vraxian ship passed through Thundersoul like it was made of smoke. The crystal hull emerged on the other side. But something had changed. The ship's interior was filled with earth flowers. Roses and daisies grew from the alien control panels. Grass sprouted from the deck plates. "What did you do to my ship?" Zephyros Prime screamed over the radio. "We made it more human," Taeyang replied. The alien commander's vessel spun helplessly as earth plants consumed its technology. Other Vraxian ships began to experience similar transformations. Some filled with water from Earth's oceans. Others developed gravity that pulled in the wrong directions. Seung-Ho Lee managed to establish a clear channel to the alien flagship. "Sir, Commander Zephyros Prime wants to talk." "Put him through." The crystal alien's face was pale with fear. "Stop this madness. Your ship is destroying the natural order." "The natural order never included humans," Taeyang said. "We're writing new rules now. What do you want from us?" "Leave this system. Leave all human space. Tell the Galactic Council that humanity is no longer asking for permission." Zephyros Prime nodded frantically. "Yes. Yes, we will leave. Just make it stop." But it was too late to stop. Thundersoul had tasted victory, and its hunger for reality changing grew stronger. The ship began to affect the entire star system. The sun burned brighter. The planets shifted into more convenient orbits. Space itself became more comfortable for human habitation. "Sir," Nari Kim called out urgently. "The ship's quantum matrix is overloading. If we don't pull back soon, we might change everything, permanently." Taeyang felt Thundersoul's consciousness pressing against his mind. The ship wanted to remake the entire galaxy in humanity's image. It wanted to ensure that humans would never face extinction again. But at what cost? He could feel his crew's life force being drained to power the reality changes. They were burning their own souls to fuel this impossible vessel. "All hands," he announced. "Prepare for quantum withdrawal. We're pulling Thundersoul back to normal space." It took every bit of human willpower they had left to convince the ship to stop changing reality. Thundersoul fought them, wanting to continue its work of making the universe safer for humanity. Finally, with great reluctance, the vessel allowed physics to return to normal. The surviving Vraxian ships limped away into deep space, carrying word of humanity's terrible new power to every corner of the galaxy. But the lesson had been taught, and the galaxy would never forget it. The Vraxian fleet was broken. Of 50 proud warships, only 12 remained functional. The others drifted in space like crystal corpses, their hulls cracked, and their systems filled with impossible things from Earth. Dr. Yoonmi Yoon stood on Thundersoul's bridge and tried to understand what they had done. She was the ship's specialist in alien psychology, but this went beyond psychology. They had broken something fundamental in the Vraxian mind. "Sir," she said to Captain Taeyang John, "I'm receiving surrender transmissions from the surviving alien ships. They're begging us to let them retreat." Taeyang felt the ship's consciousness still humming in his thoughts. Thundersoul wanted to finish what it had started. The vessel's artificial soul burned with human emotions: anger at the attack on innocent colonists, determination to protect Earth's children, and a deep satisfaction at proving humanity's worth. "Open a channel to their commander," he ordered. "Commander." Zephyros Prime's crystal face appeared on screen. The proud alien leader looked broken. His black eyes darted around as if he expected reality to change again at any moment. "Human Captain," Zephyros Prime said, his voice shaking. "We surrender completely. We will leave your space and never return. Just, please, make it stop." "Make what stop?" Taeyang asked calmly. "The wrongness. My ships are full of your Earth plants. My crew is breathing air that smells of flowers. Our navigation systems are calculating distances in human measurements. Your ship has infected us with humanity." Dr. Yoonmi Yoon studied the alien commander's behavior. He's experiencing psychological trauma from contact with our quantum field. His species evolved in a universe with strict rules. We've shown him that rules can be changed. On the planet below, the human colonists were emerging from their bunkers. The 3-day siege had ended not with destruction, but with something they couldn't understand. Minister Woo Jin Park stood in the main settlement and looked up at the strange lights in the sky. "Is it over?" asked Dr. Subin Han as she helped wounded colonists to the surface. "I think so," Woo Jin replied, "but I don't understand what happened up there." Former soldier So Young Park watched through her scope as debris from alien ships fell like silver rain. "Whatever our ship did, it broke them without firing a shot." In the science laboratory, Min Ho Yoon and Hee Jin Kang analyzed the quantum readings from the battle. The data made no scientific sense, but the results were clear. "The human ship changed the basic structure of space-time in this system," Min Ho said. "For approximately 17 minutes, the laws of physics were different here." Hee Jin stared at her computer screen. "The energy readings suggest human consciousness was used as a power source, but that should be impossible." "A lot of impossible things happened today," Min Ho replied. Above them, Thundersoul's crew struggled with their victory. Communications officer Sung Ho Lee monitored alien radio traffic from across the galaxy. Word of humanity's new weapon was spreading faster than light. "Sir," he reported, "we're intercepting transmissions from the Galactic Council. They've declared an emergency session to discuss the human threat." Navigator Dong Min Choi felt the ship's emotions through his neural link. "Thundersoul wants to visit the Galactic Council," he said. "It thinks they need to see what we can do." "No," Taeyang said firmly. "We've made our point. Any more demonstration might start a galaxy-wide war." Chief Engineer Nari Kim checked her systems. "Sir, operating the ship at full power has cost us. The crew's brain patterns show signs of quantum exhaustion. If we use Thundersoul like this again too soon, it might kill us." Tactical Officer Yejin Park studied the retreating Vraxian ships. "They're broadcasting warnings on all frequencies, telling every species in the galaxy to avoid human space." That was exactly what humanity needed. For too long, alien civilizations had ignored Earth's diplomatic messages. They had treated humans like primitive newcomers who could be pushed around or eliminated when convenient. Dr. Yoonmi Yoon established contact with the surviving Vraxian vessels. "Commander Zephyros Prime, you asked what we are. Let me explain properly." The alien's crystal face filled the screen again. "I am listening. We are human. We are the species that looked at an empty universe and decided to fill it with life. We are the creatures who saw death and chose to cure disease instead. We watched our world burn and chose to build ships that could carry us to the stars." Zephyros Prime's black eyes showed confusion. "All species do these things." "No," Yunmi replied. "All species adapt to their universe. We adapt our universe. To us, we refuse to accept that anything is truly impossible. That's what makes us dangerous. But the power your ship showed, it violates every natural law." "We wrote new laws," said Captain Taeyang, taking over the conversation. "When the universe told us something couldn't be done, we did it anyway. When reality said our ship couldn't exist, we built it from human stubbornness and the refusal to give up." From his damaged bridge, Captain Do-hyun Kim listened to the exchange. His small fleet had held the line just long enough for Thundersoul to arrive. Now he understood why. Admiral Garam Choi had authorized the secret weapons use. "This isn't just about protecting one colony," he said to his communications officer Bo-Ra Lee. "This is about changing humanity's place in the galaxy." On Thundersoul, engineer Nari Kim detected approaching ships. But these were not alien vessels. 3 human cruisers emerged from quantum jump near the edge of the system. "Sir," she reported, "Admiral Garam Choi is requesting permission to come aboard." When the Admiral materialized on Thundersoul's bridge, he looked around with wonder and concern. The impossible ship hummed with barely contained power. The crew looked exhausted but victorious. "Captain Jian," Admiral Garam said, "Earth Command is receiving communications from 17 different alien species. They all want to open diplomatic relations with humanity immediately. Fear is a powerful motivator," Taeyang replied. "The question is, what do we do now?" Thundersoul has announced to the galaxy that humans possess reality-changing technology. Every alien government will want to either ally with us or destroy us before we become too powerful. Dr. Yun Mi-yoon had been analyzing alien communications during the battle. "Sir, I don't think they'll try to destroy us. What they experienced here today was beyond their understanding. They'll be too afraid to risk another demonstration." Commander Zephyros Prime's final transmission proved her point. "Human commanders," the crystal alien said, "the Vraxian Empire hereby recognizes all human territorial claims. We will inform the Galactic Council that your species possesses weapons beyond our ability to counter. We apologize for underestimating you." As the surviving alien ships limped away into deep space, Thundersoul's crew felt a mixture of triumph and uncertainty. They had saved the colony and established humanity as a major galactic power, but they had also revealed a technology that could reshape the universe itself. "Sir," asked young officer Min-Jun Lee, "what happens when other species try to copy our technology?" Tae-yang smiled grimly. "They can't. Thundersoul runs on human consciousness, human refusal to accept defeat, human determination to protect our own. No other species thinks the way we do." The lesson had been taught. The galaxy now knew that crossing humanity was madness, but the real question was whether humans were ready for the consequences of their own power. 3 months after the Battle of Kepler 442b, the galaxy had changed completely. The Galactic Council, which had ignored human diplomatic requests for decades, now sent daily messages to Earth begging for meetings. Captain Tae-yang John stood in his quarters aboard Thundersoul and stared at his reflection. The ship's reality-changing power had left marks on him. His eyes now showed flecks of gold that hadn't been there before. His hair had turned partially white, even though he was only 35 years old. "The cost of commanding this vessel is higher than we calculated," Dr. Yun Mi-yoon had told him. "Each time we use Thundersoul's full power, we lose a piece of our humanity. The quantum consciousness exchange is burning away parts of our original minds. But the results were worth the sacrifice. Human space was now secure. Alien raiders no longer attacked human colonies. Merchant vessels traveled safely through systems that had been dangerous for years. On Earth, Admiral Garam Choi met with representatives from 47 different alien species. They all wanted the same thing: assurance that humanity would not use Thundersoul against them. "We are peaceful," the Zephilian ambassador insisted. Her blue skin shimmered with fierce sweat. "We have never attacked human settlements. Surely there is no need for your reality weapon to visit our space." "The hegemony of Voss offers tribute," announced another alien diplomat. "Rare minerals from our deepest mines, technology from our most advanced laboratories, anything to maintain friendly relations with the human government." Admiral Garam listened to each desperate offer with a calm expression. Humanity had gained something more valuable than any tribute: respect through fear. But he knew this situation couldn't last forever. In the Kepler 442b colony, life had returned to normal on the surface. The settlers rebuilt damaged structures and expanded their farms. But beneath the everyday activities, everyone knew they were living under the protection of something that defied understanding. Minister Woojin Park met with visiting reporters from across human space. "What was it like during the siege?" asked one journalist. "We were prepared to die for our new home," Woojin replied. "We never imagined that home would be defended by a ship that could rewrite reality itself." Dr. Subin Han continued treating colonists in her expanded medical facility. Many suffered from what she called quantum trauma, psychological effects from exposure to Thundersoul's reality-altering field. "They have nightmares about impossible things," she explained to visiting doctors from Earth. "Their dreams are filled with visions of space bending and stars changing color. Some report feeling like they're living in a universe with different physical laws." Former soldier So Young Park now commanded the colony's defense force. She trained volunteers with conventional weapons while knowing that their real protection came from something far beyond bullets and laser rifles. "The ship saved us," she told her trainees, "but we can't depend on Thundersoul to solve every problem. We still need to be strong enough to defend ourselves." In the colony's science laboratory, Min Ho Yoon and Heejin Kang continued studying. the quantum readings from the battle. Their research had attracted attention from Earth's top physicists. The data shows that human consciousness can indeed alter quantum probability, Minho explained to a team of visiting scientists. But the energy cost is enormous. The Thundersoul crew aged years in the space of hours. Can other species develop similar technology? Asked Dr. Park Jin-ae, Earth's leading expert in alien psychology. Hyojin shook her head. Human neural patterns are unique. Our refusal to accept defeat, our ability to believe in impossible things, these traits evolved, specifically on Earth. Other species might copy our technology, but they can't copy our minds. Across the galaxy, alien governments tried desperately to understand humanity's new weapon. The Vraxian Empire had shared their sensor data with everyone, hoping that collective analysis might reveal some weakness in human technology. Commander Zephyros Prime, now demoted to a minor administrative position, filed his final report on the incident. The human vessel did not follow any known principles of engineering or physics. Our best scientists believe it operates on what they term applied impossibility, the use of conscious will to override natural law. The report concluded with a warning that would be repeated in alien military academies for generations. Under no circumstances should any force engage human vessels capable of quantum consciousness manipulation. The psychological trauma alone can destroy entire crews. But humanity's victory came with unexpected challenges. On Earth, protests erupted outside government buildings. Citizens demanded to know why such a dangerous weapon existed and who controlled it. Thundersoul represents everything wrong with human militarism, declared Dr. Lee Sang-ho, leader of the peace movement. We have created a weapon that can change reality itself. What happens when our leaders decide they don't like the way the universe works? These concerns reached Captain Taeyang as he prepared Thundersoul for another mission. The ship had been ordered to patrol the border between human and Korthak space, where tensions were rising. Sir, said Chief Engineer Nari Kim, Earth Command is requesting a demonstration for the Korthak delegation. They want to see Thundersoul's capabilities. Absolutely not, Taeyang replied. Every time we use the ship's full power, it changes us. The crew from the Kepler battle are still recovering. Some may never fully return to normal human consciousness. Communications Officer Seung-ho Lee monitored the discussions between Earth and alien governments. The Galactic Council is offering humanity a permanent seat on their ruling body. Full membership with veto power over all major decisions. What's the catch? Asked Tactical Officer Yejin Park. They want us to share Thundersoul technology with selected allied species. Create a balance of power to prevent any one civilization from dominating the galaxy. Dr. Yoonmi Yoon analyzed the proposal from her station. They're afraid of us, but they're also afraid of what happens if our enemies develop similar weapons. They want to control the spread of reality manipulation technology. Navigator Dong-min Choi felt Thundersoul's consciousness stirring in his mind. The ship has opinions about the Council's offer. It doesn't trust alien governments to use human technology responsibly. That was the heart of the problem. Thundersoul wasn't just a weapon, it was alive. It had human emotions and human prejudices. It remembered every attack on human colonies over the past century. It wanted revenge more than peace. Captain Do Hyun, Kim, now promoted to Admiral after his defense of Kepler 442b, visited Thundersoul to discuss the situation with Taeyang. The government wants to build more ships like this one, Do Hyun said. A whole fleet of reality-changing vessels to secure human dominance in the galaxy. That would be a mistake, Taeyang replied. Thundersoul is unique because it was built from desperation and human defiance. If we mass-produce these ships, they'll lose what makes them special. Then what do you suggest? Taeyang looked around his bridge at the crew who had sacrificed pieces of their humanity to save 8,000 colonists. They were heroes, but they were also warnings of what the technology could cost. We keep Thundersoul as our ultimate defense, he said. But we also work to make sure we never need to use it again. The galaxy has learned to respect humanity. Now we need to earn that respect through more than fear. As Thundersoul prepared to jump to its next patrol station, Tae-young felt the ship's consciousness merge with his own thoughts one more time. The vessel's artificial soul burned with human determination and human hope. The galaxy would never again dismiss humanity as weak or insignificant. The age of being ignored was over. Now came the harder challenge, using their new power wisely. The end crossing humans had indeed been madness. But the real madness was what humanity might become now that they had proven nothing was impossible. The universe would have to learn to live with that new reality.